the support for the small hats in America, which lets you know Boonesboro, Maryland. Boonesboro, Maryland. All right, the support for the small hats in America, which lets you know that they're the very same people, Esau, Edom.
All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rikakwadash. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, and double honors to the elders at Great Millstone. This lesson is entitled, No Peace for the Wicked. All right. And what you just saw was I rode up on this house, and while I was at work, and this is what I saw. See that? That's the flag for Is Not Real, the United States and Ukraine. Just to let you know, they're all the same people, okay? They're all the same race of people, okay? They are the Edomites, and the chief tribe being the Amalekites, all right? And the Lord will be at war with them forever, okay, through us, the Israelites, okay? The prophets coming against them on the highways and byways, and through these epistles that we put out each day. But just know they're the same people, all right? The Edomites of the Bible, all right? That's their nationalities, Caucasians, these so-called white people, all right? The Is Not Real, and the people in the United States that took this land, and the people of Ukraine, okay? Okay, and of course they conquered the world, right? They're in they're the ruling class people in France, all right, Denmark, all of those European nations, okay? You should already know that, okay? They gained dominion of the whole earth. The Roman Empire revised, the Greco-Roman Empire revised in the earth, okay? Hold on a second here. Let me show you what Google says, so you can know that I'm not telling you anything, any lies here. All right, the historical context, biblical events. Amalek was the son of Eliphaz and grandson of Esau, identified as the progenitor of the Amalekites, and nomadic people inhabiting the Negev desert and surrounding areas. Initial attack. The Amalekites were the first to attack the Israelites after leaving Egypt, targeting the weak and stragglers in the rear. Okay, and this is when the Israelites left Egypt, and they were going into their territory, the Edomite territory, and they would not allow them through. Okay, their own brethren. Okay. All right, because Esau is the twin brother of Jacob, all right, in which the Israelites are the seed of Jacob, okay, in which we already know, okay. So, with that being said, they are the chief of the nation, the first to attack Israel, and they are the chief of the Edomites as well, all right, and that's the reason why America fights for them, okay. They're the chief of the Edomites, and they pretty much own the banking system internationally and globally. They're the international banking families, the Rothschilds, the elite, the trillionaires who have the real money. Okay, I mean, super rich. All right, but the Lord has a hatred for them. All right, they are the arch enemy of the Lord, the devil represented on earth, the adversary on earth. Let's go to Exodus chapter 17 and 16, and it reads, Yeah. And it reads, for he said, because the Lord has sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. You see that? So the Lord will have war with these Amalekites for forever, as long as this the the Bible fulfillments had to come to pass until they are destroyed as a nation ruling over the earth. Okay, all right. So it's generation to generation of our time, because we know in the next age, when they are taken down in Armageddon and the great war that's coming, they will be cast out of rulership. The Edomites, the Amalekites rule will end. Okay, the rulership of the so-called white man. Okay, if you can understand that. All right. So, for he said, because the Lord has sworn that the Lord, whose name in capital letters is Yahweh, will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Okay, so the Israelites will prophesy against them, all right, to manifest the prophecies to come to pass. Okay, if you can understand that. They've always had hatred for you Israelites, okay? All right, from the very beginning, the Lord spoke of it. All right, let's go to Genesis, let's see, 3 and 15. I always read that. It goes all the way back to the garden. All right. And I will put enmity, that means there will be enemies, okay, between thee and the woman, okay? Satan's seed, which you would have on earth, which would be a man, okay, of course, all right, because Satan is a spirit. He cannot produce seed. It will be a man, okay? That's who the serpent would be, okay? Serpent meaning a sorceress, okay? And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, okay? The woman would be Israel, that would eventually become the Israelites, and between thy seed, the seed of Satan on earth, these Edomites, all right? Before that, it was the seed of Cain, all right, during Noah's day, and her seed, which is the sons of God, the Israelites, okay? It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel, okay? So you see how that works. All right. So the Lord, when you fast forward to Salakia, hold on a second. Telling this person that's trying to call me to text me. So Salakia about that. All right. So again, they would be enemies of one another. Okay. All right. From the very beginning in the garden, Satan would have a seed of man on earth, a representative, an adversary on earth, representing him. Okay. And the woman would produce the sons of God. The sons of God were present during the time. We got Adam, Seth, okay, Noah, okay. They kept the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Heavenly Father, okay, even verbally before they were given to Jacob. Okay, you understand that? All right. So the Lord will put they will be enemies. He created an enemy against the sons of God on earth, which later became the Israelites. All right. Okay. Let's go to Jeremiah 6 and 2, which tells you the woman identified. I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. You see that? So that woman in the garden represents Israel of today, the Israelites of the day, not Israel, the Israelites of the day, not to get it confused with the people who are over there now, okay? Because the Israelites were exiled out of the land. But anyway, the point being the Lord created an adversary on earth. Okay. Okay. And let's go to Genesis chapter. All right. He said he would bruise him in the head and the heel. Right. He repeats this again in Genesis chapter 25 with Esau. All right. This will be a different time period, right, with Esau, because he regenerated Esau. Okay. So let's see here, Genesis chapter 25, and we'll go down to we'll just read from here. 23, 25 and 23. And the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb. This is in Rebekah's womb, Isaac and Rebekah. Okay, Rebekah had a child, right? And two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And Jacob is stronger spiritually, all right, and physically as well, all right, and all right, to a great degree. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red all over like an hairy garment. They call his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand, okay, remember he said he would bruise him in the head and the heel, right? This is repeated again. And after that he came his brother out, and his hand took hold onto Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. All right, because Jacob, the tribe of Israel, would produce the prophets, and they would pull down and reveal Esau to the world, all right, as the devil, okay, and it would begin, the Lord would manifest his downfall, and that's what's happening now in the earth, okay. We're calling him out, okay. We're telling you that he's the devil, okay. He is the wicked in the earth, and the Lord is manifesting the prophecies of old by pulling them down out of rulership, heavenly rulership. Because this is Esau, the so-called white man's heaven, okay, inherited by the force of the sword. The Lord gave him the gift of the sword of war. That's why they named the Pentagon the Department of War, because that's what they're good at, okay, killing. All right. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. Okay, so I wanted to make that point, that he took hold of his heel. It told you in Genesis chapter 3 and 15 that he would bruise him in the head and bruise him in the heel. Okay, you see that? They correlate together. All right, they will be at war with one another. All right. All right, we know that the Edomite is what brought the death. All right, the Greco-Romans, the so-called Caucasian people were the ones that put to death the Savior. All right, back then in the ancient world. Okay. All right, and we know that there was an Idumean, a king, Herod, that seeked to kill the baby Jesus, they say, which is his name in Hebrew is Yahushua. He seeked to kill him. That's in the Genesis chapter, I think chapter 2. I mean, not Genesis chapter 2, Salakia. Matthew chapter 2. All right, when you read that, okay? So you have to understand these precepts come together. That's how you read the Bible, precept upon precept, line upon line. Okay, so the Lord will have war with them forever. You see how that happened? Okay, it tells us here at Matthew chapter 11, I think it's 11 and 12, that, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven is the Israelites, suffer violence, and the violent take it by force. So the so-called Edomite Romans back then was putting to death the prophets, the disciples, okay, back there, and that's what he's saying. The kingdom of heaven suffereth violence. You see that? All right. Okay, so what I'm trying to get you to see is that these are the Edomites of today are still here, and they're in rule right now, just as the Bible said they are. Job 9 and 24 tells us I know it might seem like a broken record. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right. They are the wicked. They are the devil. They are the deceiver. All right. They never told you that Jacob was ruling over there in Europe. They deceived you. All right. All right. They made you believe that you were just a slave. Okay. All the time. That's what you were taught in high school. But in actuality, we had ruling of families that were ruling over there in Europe. Okay. All right. So let's go to Psalm chapter 83, and it identifies and shows us again these people, Psalms 83, that they would be at war with the Israelites, and this is a prophecy. All right. It's a psalm of Asaph. It said, "Keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and have consulted against thy hidden ones." All right, which were the tribe of Judah, which were dispersed. All right. To America and other lands. Okay, they were scattered, right? They have said, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, and that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee." Okay, they have a pact, a confederation. They came together, all these nations, to never let Israel come together again. All right. By hiding them, okay, by killing their forefathers, all right, and then reprogramming them, all right. That's what happened to the Israelites here in America, all right, okay. Giving them a different education, put it that way. And so this, basically the American, so-called American education, all right. The Confederate nations were the tabernacles of Edom. They were the leaders. Okay. All right. They're the chief of the nations. They control all the money in the world. Okay. These so-called white people, the elite from amongst them. All right. The Rothschilds are the ones who paid in 1948 and set up the state of is not real. They did that. They're multi-rich. You have to understand that. They bought it, okay? I mean, they established it, in other words, okay? In which it was not their land. Their land is Mount Seir. That was given to them as an inheritance. The Edomites were given that as an inheritance, okay, by the Most High. All right? So the judgment is coming to remove them from the earth, all right? All right, to cast them out of rulership. All right, they're the reason for all the wars and the peace being taken from the earth. Let's go to Revelation chapter 6 and 4, which says here, "And there went out another horse that was red," that's symbolizing Esau, Edom. All right, he was red like a hairy garment. Okay, all right, red all over like a hairy garment. That's in Genesis chapter 25. All right. And the Rothschilds are known as the Red Shield. Okay. So they represent Esau as well. "And there went out another horse that was red," horse meaning power. "And power was given to him," it's a people, right, "that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword." This sword was given from the Most High so that they can conquer. All right. All right. All right. The Lord created an adversary on the earth. Okay. The Edomites, the Idumeans. All right. When they were the Greeks. Okay. That's what they called them. But judgment is coming for them. The Lord's going to take them out of power. Isaiah 34 and 5. All right. It says, "For my sword shall be bathed in heaven." All right, the sword of the Lord right now will be these missiles, that are going to be launched. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. All right. So that's what is reserved for them, judgment. Okay. All right. So there's not going to be any peace there. I showed you the video. They hung the flags out there and so forth, but there's not going to be any peace. All right. You have to understand that. Not for the wicked. Isaiah chapter 48 and verses 22. There is no peace, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshai, unto the wicked. All right. So there's not going to be no peace for them. Job chapter 21 and verses 30. The Lord has them reserved for judgment. All right. Let's see here. 21 and 30. We'll start at 29. Ask ye not ask them that go by the way, and do ye not know their tokens? Okay, the prophecies, okay, that the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction. They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath. And the Lord is asking a question. Who shall declare his way to his face? It's talking about a people. Who's doing that? Who's declaring his way, the wicked, to his face? And who shall repay him what he has done? All right. Destroyed the nation of Israel in every way. Okay. Who is doing that? The Hebrew Israelites. That's who's doing it. We're declaring his way to his face. You see that? All right. So they're reserved for judgment. All right. So let me go back to that video, I guess, here. Show you that again. All right. All right, you see that? Why we're fighting for them. Now you know why. Because they're brethren. They're the same people. You have to understand that. See that? The people in Ukraine, the people in Israel, and America are the same. Same people. You see? That's all I wanted to show you. All right? If you don't already know. The wicked. The devil. All right? The Edomites and the Amalekites. All right. Obadiah. Let's go there. Chapter 1, verse 15. And it reads, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. We're going to possess the possessions of the Edomites. All right. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. So that will be the end of them. Okay. Because they're going to be cast out of rulership. Revelations chapter 12 and verses 7. So okay, let me get that again. Revelations 12 and 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, the Roman Empire, the empire of the Edomite. And the dragon fought and his angels, all right, his men, and prevailed not. They're not going to prevail. Neither was their place found any more in heaven, in this earth, in this realm, not in the spirit world. Okay, this is their heaven. They rule it. All right. And the great dragon, all right, the Edomites, their nation, was cast out. That old serpent called the devil and Satan, all right. As I said, the spirit of Satan, the power was given to them in the earth, all right. Genesis chapter 3 and 15. They would be enemies of the sons of God, all right. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. All right. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So they're not going to have any rulership in the earth again. All right. They're not going to be ruling in the kingdom of heaven. It will be given to the Israelites. Okay. Verse 10, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation, strength, and the kingdom of our power, and the power of his anointed. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down. Okay, they accuse us because they have control of the media. All right, the Amalekites, the people from Is Not Real, has control over the media, so they can put us out in the media as savages, as people that are doing wrong things, and hold back from showing you what they do. You see? For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accuses them before our power day and night. And they overcame him. Who overcame him? The Israelites. By the blood of the Lamb, which is Yahushua, and by the word of their testimony on the highways and hedges, teaching, doing these epistles. And they love not their lives unto death. All right. Okay. All right. And we'll go down to 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, the seed of the Israelites. All right. And went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keepeth the commandments of the Most High, and have the testimony of Yahushua. The testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. All right. That's Revelation chapter 19 and 10. Okay. That's why we always speak on prophecy. You understand? So I hope this was edifying. Hope you get a little bit of edification and understanding from this. And with that, I say all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rikakwadash. Peace and blessings to the Hophalek, and double honors to the elders at Great Millstone. Shalom.